Hi, I'm Kyle,
I'm John.
and on this week's episode, we're going to be talking about something that everyone kind of knows, but they don't at the same time. We're going to be talking about SEO, or what does SEO stand for again?
SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization.
Right, and search engine optimization is something that is becoming more relevant, I think, for any kind of business. Any kind of business these days, whether you're small or large, it's something that needs to be taken into consideration. And just so we're going to try to talk to you about it today, I guess. So, to kind of start us off, where do you want to start off with SEO? It stands for search engine optimization, but what is it exactly?
Well, the best way of thinking of search engine optimization is to think of a library. A library is a physical building, but inside of that building is a card catalog. Think of the card catalog as your search engine, whether it be Google, Bing, or Yahoo. And now take it outside of that building to the entire world. That is what a search engine is. It's the card catalog for all the content on the entire internet.
And it's something that you often hear a lot about in terms of businesses will do your SEO, or companies will kind of help you with your SEO, and by doing that, it'll help you grow. Um, but it's something that can be done by itself, but at the same time, there's a lot more that goes into it. Wouldn't you agree?
I would absolutely agree. There's over 200 ranking factors for Google alone at the high level. And underneath that is 50 to 100 different levels. So there's up to between 10 to 20,000 different ranking levels for the search engines.
That's a lot. And again, it's something that when people say, can you do SEO? Can I just do it by myself? And the answer we like to give is, yes, you absolutely can. But there's more to it than that. One of it has to do with just a time factor. Now, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier. How much time would you have to put into SEO to become proficient at it? And what was the time again?
Well, the time for us internally to bring somebody on board to understand the fundamentals and the basics is around 600 hours.
That's a long, a little bit more than just a few weekends, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's a lot of time that goes into it, and that's again, like that's to be proficient. That's not to become like, let's say, a SEO master, because it's like you said again. There really is no master of SEO.
No, it's impossible to master SEO from the standpoint that in 2016, Google has actually come out with 10 different algorithm updates. So mathematically, Google is constantly changing and evolving. So is Bing and so is Yahoo.
So it's a little bit more than just kind of just sitting back and letting it grow. This is something that you really have to just dig into, and something that you have to keep up with. Speaking of which, I know there are factors that go into SEO, and I know there's plenty of things that go into it, but there's some surface level things that I think we could talk about. Maybe just kind of share.
Absolutely.
So, what is the difference between, like, for example, if I have a blog and I want to post an image, I drag the image, I drop it in, everything's pretty, everything's ready to go. I know for a fact that with SEO, it's a little bit more than that when you have your website. So, since you kind of know a little bit more about that, what else goes into that?
Well, from like a blogging standpoint, you want to have your image name to actually not be the picture that you took, but actually kind of say what the image is about. But behind that, you want the image to be properly sized,
Right.
so it loads fast on your device. And there's what's called alternate text that's behind the scenes that you don't see, but the search engines and also people with disabilities, their computers will actually read it to them and explain to them what that actual picture does.
Well, let's say, because somebody talked about this to me a little bit earlier. You know, if they're more photo intensive, if they're more photo heavy, what's the difference between just putting like all photos and then just text? Because I mean, people like to see photos; they like to see pretty. So let's say like I want to have almost like an Instagram, like all photos. What's the difference there? I know a little bit about it, but you know more than I do. So.
Well, having all pictures is awesome. People love the visual aspect of the web, but the search engines don't know what a picture truly is. They have algorithms that kind of read into what the image is, but the alternate text behind it tells. But if you're uploading a ton of images, most likely you're not spending the time to worry about that alternate text. Whereas if you have text, search engines love text.
Right.
Because it allows them to truly grasp what the page is about.
And that's why text is really important when you are building your website. If you're a business, locations are important. If you're a business, again, the areas that you serve are important. Even, I believe, like if you upload certain files, like a PDF or just any kind of files like that, that's SEO applies to that as well. It's something that has to be kind of taken in for everything. So
Absolutely. A lot of times what you'll see, we see at a lot of restaurants that we've overtaken is they have a PDF on their site, but the PDF is actually a picture.
right,
And that picture, Google has no clue what it is.
right,
Where you can have a PDF on your site and it actually have text in it that Google can actually search for, and now your menu will actually show up on the search results.
and I mean at the end of the day, it's really just mathematical, right?
That's pretty much all any of the search engines are. It's mathematical algorithms. And yes, you can pay to be at the top of the listings, but then you also have organic search and you have local search. And the difference between organic and local search is organic search is, think of it as location agnostic. So it can be anywhere across the country or the world. Whereas if it's local, it's going off of geographic information, latitudes, longitudes, to determine from where the user is compared to where you are. On search, over 60% of all search now is done on mobile phones.
That makes sense, yeah. So there's a big difference between local SEO and just other SEO as
Absolutely.
well. Right. And just to kind of close on that note, again, like going back before, technically, yes, you can do SEO, but it's a lot like the mechanic situation. Technically, yes, we both could research and fix anything on our car ourselves. But again, it's what is your time worth? What is your time? What is your money? Is that time that could be better spent in other parts of your business where you do specialize at? So again, it's something to consider, something to think about. Do you want someone else to manage it, or can you just sacrifice that time and do it yourself? And I think that's a great way to kind of end the show, don't you think?
I absolutely think so.
Talked about a lot today. SEO, again, is big, so it's something very cool at the same time. So I think it's a good way to close it out.
Yep.
So I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Absolutely, always do.
All right, so we'll be back next week then?
I think so.
I hope so. We should be. All right, so again, I'm Kyle.
I'm John.
Thanks for watching, and see you next time.